Good morning, afternoon, evening everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Managersim series. It's now 5-6 days since the last episode, so the calendar has changed a lot and so has the club. So what we're going to do first is recap on what happened in the last episode, and the way we'll do this is by quickly just looking at the YouTube episode which I did last, which is another way of promoting the YouTube channel as well. So here we go. So if I just click that, here we go, here's the screen, and as you can see it was episode 9 when it was the end of the first season. The date was the 1st of April and we had 68 million in the bank and we were the 9th rated academy. As you can remember, this side was producing a very good amount of youngsters. The problem was, because we were promoting all the youngsters into the side, we were actually having a very large squad, and as I was checking up off stream, I was getting a lot of board warnings that the squad size was too large, so I had to start getting rid of players and selling players. Again, here's my YouTube channel, so if you always want to subscribe then please do, and there's been loads of other useful videos on here. I'm doing some more GTA videos very soon and Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, so please subscribe if you haven't done. If you're new to this channel, welcome. But yeah, so it was the 1st of April. We had about 68 million in the bank. The season's just finished. We qualified for Europe, which was very good, and we were waiting now for the end of season tick. So, but as it's been a while, I thought I'd better come back in here just to let you know what's been going on for the last couple of weeks. And there's been plenty of activity. Go to this team. Here's the squad. The info. Our money's gone up by another 24 million because we've actually been selling a lot of players. The players that have gone since the last checkup have been our then only non-Swedish player, our striker. He's now been sold to Oblik, I think that's in Serbia, and we sold him for 1.6 million up there. I'll increase the screen a bit more. There you go, 1.6 million. The next player we then sold was our striker, who wanted to go since day one. He finally got sold to another Swedish side, which wasn't ideal, but we had to sell him because he wasn't signing a new contract, and we sold him for 4 million. He played 29 games for us, but I think he only scored about 8 or 9 goals. So we had to sell him, so that was a nice 4 million coming back into the bank. And then we sold this midfielder. He was another one who didn't want to sign a new contract. You'll get that a lot when you're in the smaller level sides. And we sold him for 6.89, which was 6.89 million profit, because we only just bought him in December, but he wanted to leave, so we waited the account of 3 months, and then we sold him for nearly 7 million. So that was a 7 million profit. And the last one was another guy who didn't want to sign a contract, but our midfield was strong anyway, so even though he had very good secondary stats, these are very, very good secondary stats, he didn't want to play for us anymore, which was sad. But he was another player that we made massive amount of profit in. We signed for free transfer again in December, and only 4 or 5 months later we sold him for nearly 11.5 million. And he only played 1 match for us, so that was definitely a bargain. You'll get things like this, which can be annoying sometimes when you buy decent players and then suddenly they want to leave. There's not much you can do if they don't want to sign the contract. You can try playing them more often, but then they still might not want to play. So those players were the ones that left. We had a couple of new signings coming in, mostly youth players. But the main aim between this pre-season now is to get the squad size down to a bit more reasonable, because we've got a massive problem. We've got 45 players, which is way too much at the moment. We're well over the accounted that we have for defence and midfield. These numbers up here, you should really keep them below 8 if you can. You can see we're well over there, so we have to keep selling or free transferring players. We've got too many attackers, too many midfielders and too many defenders basically. So we need to keep selling, especially with the free transfer market going to appear in June. As you can see in the date here, it's 10th of May, so it's been about 6 weeks since the last episode, game-wise, 5 days, 5-6 days real time, and we still really need to get rid of quite a few players. So I had to transfer list certain players, like 2 really good, decent defenders I'm getting rid of, because I'm going to play more of my youth players in, giving them more of a chance to develop next season. This is a really good youth player, but the problem is he wants to go, so I had to put him on the transfer list. He's unhappy, so you can give him holiday leave. That might make him feel a bit better, but most of the time they will stay unhappy. If they want to go, they will go. And here's another decent midfielder that he wanted to go. He's on content. He would be a really good midfielder for us, but the problem is our midfield is pretty strong as it is, so he wouldn't be playing that many games, so I'm going to need to sell him. And we're getting rid of our highly skilled striker who doesn't seem to be scoring goals. 17 appearances and he scored twice, so we're selling him. He's got a big club clause, which means I can only list him just under W his value. So you can see that his value is at 631,000. If I change his transfer price, you get this little message coming up saying because he's on the big club clause, you can only sell him no higher than that value, which is normally double his value. So I transfer listed him for 1.3 million. No bids so far. If the worst comes to the worst, I'll just free transfer him if I have to, but hopefully I'll get a bid for him. So yes, the problem we've got is that we've got too many players at the moment, so I'm trying to keep some of our good players while developing our youngsters. We have got many good youngsters in this side, so next season is going to be interesting what youngsters I'm going to play as first team regulars, because we are going to be in Europe as well, so it's going to be tough. I don't think we're going to be doing that well in Europe because the squad is still quite undeveloped. But you can see we've got we've got an 86, 18-year-old goalie. He's got a 17-year-old backup. Our defence, we've got Iskemir, 82. Oslan, who's our star youth player, 85 defence. We've got Eskelin, 85. Gran, 89. Our defence is pretty good. Our midfield, I think, is one of the strongest. Chiba is finally getting fit. He joined us, played 1 game, and his fitness was so low it took him ages to come back up, but his fitness is now back up to 99, which means he will feature a lot more in the next season. And then we got Kallstrom, who was our star midfielder, remember, when we first joined the side. He's now one of the good best midfielders what we got, but there's a few other better ones, like Pastras, for instance. Tellstrom's our youngster who did very well that season, 7.1 average rating. Then we got our two really good ones, Van Bissenbergen and Skarpenberg, who is our star player. He is very good. His secondary stats are a little bit low, actually, to thinking about it, but his passing and shooting and speed stat and control is very decent. And he played in 7 of the 11 available games. That's what that actually means. He played in 7 of the 11 available games that he could take part in. If the ratio is much lower, then you'll get this stat coming up, which is a different colour. That means they haven't played enough. So when they haven't played enough, they'll get penalties. And there's another penalty there. Oops. So make sure they play enough games. For instance, this guy got a penalty because he could have played in 10 games, but he played in none. So he might get some stat drops. Anyway, you see some players here are greens. Greens means they actually played a friendly just the last tick, which means they had experience. We got hammered 7-0 though, but I played mostly as 16, 17-year-olds to just boost their stats. Green means stats go up, red means stats go down. If you play your first team, for instance, against a side who are not as good as you, you might get a lot of reds instead of a lot of greens. It can work the other way around. So yeah, that's about it at the moment. Finally, our strikers, we've got some really decent ones there. Tabaz and Ronenberg are our top 2 strikers now. Kamundi him, I can't say the word. He was injured for a long time, so his stats are going to come back up. But we, as you remember, we've got 8 strikers. We have to get rid of 1 or 2. So we'll see how it goes. Because I want to, in the next episode, probably be the new season when all the stats change, and players get free transferred from other clubs because it's on their clause, free and relegation clause. They get free transferred and then they appear on the transfer list, so you can actually buy some really good players for nothing. But I can't really buy anyone at the moment because I've got far too many players. I need to get this down to at least under 40. So yes, it's going to be interesting. I might have to get free transfer a lot of these transfer list players who don't get sold, which is not ideal, but at least you get rid of them. But if I'm doing that, I can only free transfer one player at a time at the moment because I'm still pretty new. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the next episode which players have stayed and which players are not, and hopefully I might get some transfer bids for some of these listed players, so that might solve the problem, because I have listed about 6 players. If all 6 of them are sold, then I'll get under that magical 40. Then I can at least try and buy 1 or 2 free transfer bargains. But anyway, a couple other things. My ranking, I'm in the top 20 of players now. I've got only a +3 of 6 because of them transfers, making too many transfers and selling players. But my level ranking has now gone up to nearly level 3. So I could join a level 3 side, but again, I feel like I want to stay with Elfsborg for as long as I can. And yes, there's the money again, only 91 million. Hopefully that'll go up a little bit more. And the league table is still as it was. That won't change until the beginning of the new season when everything gets reset back to 0 again. And finally, the fixtures. This is the fixture list at the moment. As you can see there, I lost 7-0, but that was mostly a 16, 17-year-old side. And then, yeah, the pre-season, well, this is our end of season. It's not been too bad. I've got a couple more games. Oh, I have to put a side in there. So let's change that to my main team. They haven't played for a while yet, so I'll put my main team in that game. And maybe down here as well. Malmo, yeah. Malmo did pretty decently, actually. They had a pretty good end of season. So it's good to see. But Dave has left. Dave has left Malmo. I thought he was going to leave. He was going to leave to a bigger side. Where did Dave go to? He went to West Ham. Oh, good on you. He went to the English League. Very competitive. But for the beginner series, I prefer staying where I am to develop my side even more. He has got a really good side, actually. He's got some really good youngsters and various players. I'm going to make a cheeky bid to see if they will join me. This might happen. Sometimes you can make bids on other sides, mostly computer sides, and see if they come and join you. But you have to really bid a lot more than their value. So this guy's valued at 3.7 million. I'm going to put a bid in and say 22 million. I've got enough money, I can do it. The chances are he's going to say no. Well, there's a high chance he will say no in this, but there's no harm trying. That's what I think Dave's done to this player. This player was one of his former players, and he just bought him on the big club clause. Yeah, 6 million. So, oh wow, you got a bargain there. So yeah, this is a very good defensive midfielder. See if he wants to come and join us. I very much doubt it, because again, we're not such a big club compared to West Ham. Let's put 18 million in. He might accept that, he might not. I'll find out in the next tick. I've got enough to do one more. What about Anderson? Yes, 10 million. Let's bid 22 million again. Again, this is highly unlikely. Yeah, I'll let you know how I get on those, if I do get any of them. That's one player who is going. Hopefully he's going to join this Belgian side. So we're down to 1 player less. So yeah, that's about it now for now. So hope you enjoyed this quick episode. And stay tuned. The next episode will be the new season. So we'll make some new free transfers, new bids for new players. Hopefully, if I've got enough. If I brought the player tally down from 45 down to 40, then I will start getting some new players, and let's see what happens. Okay, thanks for listening, and see all you soon. Goodbye.